Hello.
Hey, Jamie.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, we're all good. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes here to see if we get more people in there, and we'll start. We're just waiting for Draco to do his thing.
Okay.
Draco, I'm seeing the live pop up on the screen. So are we live yet?
Yes, we are live.
Okay.
I'm sending the live link in a minute.
Okay. Peter, you take the lead from here.
Okay. Well, welcome, Jamie. Now, I don't have Rakesh. I don't have the. I have the chat box,
Mm-hmm.
and that chat box is anybody who doesn't have a live video call, and they come in on the chat box, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. In Zoom chat box, you can see
Okay.
Zoom participants. If Zoom participants post a message there, you will see
Okay.
the messages.
Great.
And to see Substack live feed messages, you need to use another device like the other days, so that you can also uh, uh, you forget about that. We will handle the Substack live feed. If you want to look at what people are saying, then you can just open your phone and open the IOD Nations live. So we are live right now. Hey, Greg. Hey, Shadonai. Uh, we are setting up a few things. So hang on, guys. Peter, we are live now.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. I don't know where everybody's from, but my name is Peter, and I'm from Canada, Montreal. And yeah, I'm from Canada, Montreal, and I was asked to moderate this get together today. And I'll just explain. Jamie, are you aware of what IOD is all about? I don't.
Uh, Pretty much you're kind of organizing an online uh, internet of democracy to kind of spread awareness through international internet channels. Yeah.
In a general manner, yeah, that's in synopsis. That's about it. But there's ways the concept and the methods are all organized, and the concept is this. And for anybody listening, we are a nation of democratic, like-minded people who feel that it's necessary at this point, and also not just necessary, but it's we are at the right point to create a place where one can go if they want to get involved with a mission. Because we find that when there's all sorts of different substacks or all different kind of movements going on, and it's great, and they're trying to just build a better democracy. But
Very necessary.
those are groups, yeah, very necessary. Well, that's what we believe. It's a time for this right now for people to get involved, but a lot of people don't know how to get involved. You know, what is one voice? What am I going to do? What can I do? So one way to do it is to get involved with with a with a group, with a community that has a large following. And not only a large following, but we all believe, and this is the main premise of the whole the movement is we are like-minded, democratically driven people. I mean, we all have our other stuff to deal with, and Your opinion might not be the same as mine or a million others, but we're all focused on one thing: democracy is worth saving. And from that, we're trying to build or we will build a community that is connected with other communities that can use this platform. So instead of a small group of people, we have millions and perhaps billions that we can move or change directions. Whatever it is, we could do that. So that's what we're about. We have a website, iodnations.org, and that's pretty well. Rakesh and Draco, they're working on that. Now, what we're looking for here is at this stage, we need volunteers. We need people. We need people to do a lot of things. Well, there's a lot of things to do, and we need a lot of people to do those things. So what we're looking for, committing yourself for about an hour and a half every week to fill these positions. So Rakesh and Draco and Joel, they can be doing other things. Like we have a lot of segments of music, putting together data, putting together films, putting together documentaries that we could use to, because I mean, these kind of things are necessary so people can understand what we're all about and they can choose, they can make better choices anyway. So to do that, we're looking for people that are like-minded in a democratic way, that have that feel the need that they want to do something, they just don't know how to do it, or they know how to do it and they want to become a member of a bigger society, that you will have a bigger voice, and that's about it. That's what we're looking. That's what this channel is for. Now we're in the beginning. We're in the grassroots right now. Did you want to talk, Jamie?
Yeah, I think on those notes that reach is important, because anybody can have a good idea, but it does feel like between, censored feeds and algorithms and things like that, your voice feels really tiny. So you might be saying, there might be people out there that have really good ideas or even connections that could help make a change, but they get kind of drowned out by the noise. So I think that reach is important. Being able to reach people, it takes more than one voice usually. So yeah, just
So
echoing your sentiment there.
So imagine this. You have different planets. One planet might be the woman's planet, and the other one might be a planet of better living, and all these other planets, and they have their own uh, constitutions, and they have their own way of doing things. But then you have this format which reaches in between all those planets, is that like empty space, and connects all these planets together. And to bring one voice, to bring together one voice with billions of people, changing those 100,000 voices from every planet into billions, and that's the premise. That's the dream. And
Yeah, one voice is critical, and it's one of the reasons why society is kind of failing. I mean, we've got all the symptoms of human societal decay. And one of the things that causes that is not having one unified voice or truth. We've been told two truths. So now we've got a real communication problem of people are, I don't want to use the word brainwashed. They've basically been systemically trained by misinformation. So truth is important and one voice is important, but we don't have that. We have different media outlets and social media outlets that are have been giving people the individual algorithms, because that's what the algorithms do, is create your own personal echo chamber. So now, getting back to something that people find normal, they can't do that because their brains have literally been trained, to other things. So there's a couple of challenges in getting through to people. And I'm interested to see, how I think music is something we can do to unite people. It might be one of the few things. That's where we have all our memories, the high school reunions and all of those things. So I'm interested to see how this setup creates sort of a mind map to reach all of those people, and have some experience in pulling those things together in startups and whatnot. So,
well, that's the creating the tools to do that with, and that's what we're, like I said, we're in the grassroots segment of this. Joel, I mean, he's the creator. I mean, he came up with the
is he here?
concept.
Yes.
Yeah, he's here.
Oh,
Joel's
okay.
here.
Hi.
Actually, I'm going to hand it over to Joel because he can explain it 100,000 million times better than I can, and you'll get a better, clearer pictures. Then we're going to go to a video
Okay.
or music. Okay, Joel, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Peter. I got in 2 rides over the weekend, and I'm I'm
Oh,
I'm I'm
I
getting
remember
my
him from the
I'm,
other night. Yeah.
how are you doing, Jamie? And thanks for
I
everybody who's here. We're really excited to see you here. Where are you
yeah,
from, Jamie?
I'm in Michigan currently.
Okay. So
Yeah.
swing state, lots of stuff going on, close to Canada.
Oh, yeah, it's Michigan has kind of been bearing the brunt of the economic uh troubles, 30%
Yeah.
of this. So it's been real here for a while. And it shows, the cracks are showing. So it's been interesting, and I think it's coming to a point where some people they know, even no matter what their political beliefs, they don't like it. That's usually how I break the ice when people start getting defensive politically, is I say, well, I think there's one thing we can agree on, that this isn't working. And they say yes. So that's a good way to stop the fight and just say, if they say something about, what they believe is going on politically or whatever that I don't agree with, I just go, yeah, well, I think we can both agree that, this isn't working for all of us. And I think that's a good
I'm gonna
icebreaker.
I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna kind of put a spin and introduce us and myself to everybody who's here. Wow, we've got over 50 people here this quickly in the show. That's really amazing. We're starting to get some traction. So if you're here, my name is Joel Coleman. I'm the founder of IOD Nations, International Online Democratic Nations.org. And this Substack, this live chat, is intended to be different from any of the others that you go to, in that we're here with a specific purpose, tactics, and strategy to protect and save our democracy, but to launch it into the next generation. So one of the things, I've been working on this idea for about 10 years, trying to communicate with people that we all have the ability right here with this phone to unite online. And actually, we're not, in a way, we're not even uniting online, because we're all here, right? The whole world is online in one way, shape, or form. But all we have to do is tap our screen and go to one location together. And then choose to operate and function as citizen-led online democracies. And Taiwan has been doing this for 11 years. They have they had a rebellion in 2014, the Sunflower Movement, because only 7% of their population approved of their government, and they wanted transparency, and they got it. And they created a whole online portal and integration into their government. And now 50% of their citizens communicate and function with their national government on a routine basis. And they're now at a 70% approval rating. They went from 9% to 70% simply by integrating their citizens online. And so this isn't something new. It is new, but it's not something that's unproven. And every business out there, every corporation, every social entity, every social media platform, and all the primarily online businesses, Amazon, they all prove this. Okay, we now function in a world that is largely, really directed and controlled in many ways from online. But here's the thing. Without us, none of these online entities are viable. Okay? Facebook makes their money by selling advertising. One of their primary ways is they sell advertising to get access to you and I, those of us who are online that use Facebook. Without us, Facebook's business model is probably a failure. Okay? And we have the ability to impact them at the tap of our screen or the click of our mouse. And so you're going to hear more about that today. We're going to play a really cool video of, we're going to play the very end of it, of Simon Sinek being interviewed by a podcaster in England whose name is Stephen Bartlett. And if you don't follow Simon Sinek, he's a great guy. He's considered one of the best innovators or bright voices related to leadership and how to be good leaders, and how people change, right? How you get large groups of people to change. And we're here to ask you to consider changing by uniting with other people here who are online to promote online citizen-led freedom and democracy. Now, for weeks we've fluctuated back and forth on really getting concrete action. So today, everyone who's here, we are going to ask you to send an email to Simon Sinek. We're actually going to do it to Simon Sinek, Trevor Noah, because he's in an interview, Stephen Bartlett, and we're going to reach out to them because of what we show you in their podcast, what they're saying and what they're asking for. We believe that once they understand the power and potential of online citizen-led democracy towards helping them achieve their objectives, we believe that this might be our opportunity to get through to one of these influencers and elevate this conversation to new levels. And so that's why you're here. As Simon Sinek says, that everything begins with why. And the reason why you're here is that you're worried about freedom and democracy in the United States and across the world. You want to be able to do something, and we're going to show you a way that we think is incredibly easy relative to what's going on and really viable, and it creates real power and influence for citizens. So this video that Draco's going to play you is part of this interview with Simon Sinek. We're going to provide a little bit more of the lead in. It was actually, I think, close to a 2-hour interview, and we're just catching the very end of it. But I want to give you a little bit of a feel for Simon and what he's talking about and how he expresses himself. And I think it's going to be really valuable. But as we do this, if you're here, okay, we ask you, we're going to drop an email address down in the chat. We have a chat that's going in Zoom and on our Substack live feed. You can send an email there if you would like to just monitor us and stay in the loop, or if you want to be a part of email campaigns, or if you want to be a part of helping make outreach happen and really taking the steps like creating the email campaigns and helping with the organization and helping with maybe some graphics or video or stuff like that. But we're going to go right now with this video of a really cool interview. We hope you enjoy it. But if you have to leave or you're unsure, drop us an email. You can put it in either of the chat sections. You can put your email, or we will put our email there, and you can email us if you don't want your email out in front of everybody. So Draco, I think, is going to go ahead and hit play on this.
What was the happiest moment of your life so far?
This is the shorter version.
I literally can't answer the question. For me, my happiness doesn't exist in the past. I've done many things that made me happy, but I'm much more interested in what's going to happen next. I'm probably better at answering the question, what's the happiest thing you're going to do? I'm actually drawing a blank.
What is the happiest thing you're going to do?
Walked into that one, didn't I? The happiest thing I'm going to do is actually solve some of the problems or at least contribute to the solution of some of those problems that we talked about. Like, I will be very happy when I can contribute to police reform in this country. I will be very happy when I can figure out
What happened there?
And disrupt shareholder supremacy and the way that we build companies now. I will be very happy to...
Can you rewind that, Draco, a little bit? I want to hear that portion.
To help police reform in this country. I will be very happy.
Okay, perfect.
I can figure out better systems to help reinvent what modern business looks like and reject everything that Jack Welch built, and disrupt shareholder supremacy and the way that we build companies now. I will be very happy to demonstrate a momentum towards an entirely different direction. I will be very happy.
So as we watch this interview of Simon Sinek by Stephen Bartlett, okay, hey Draco, did we lose that?
Joel, I'm sorry, there is some technical difficulty.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that's
right now it's
fine.
all good. We can play that video again.
Okay, go ahead, please. So that's Simon Sinek and Stephen Bartlett, who you're listening to. And the podcast, Stephen Bartlett's podcast for this is called Diary of a CEO.
What was the happiest moment of your life so far?
The
Let's
happiest,
skip
I
back
literally can't answer the
through
question.
that, Draco.
For
Actually,
me,
go ahead and pause it, Draco.
my
I'll cut in
happiness
and take
doesn't.
this. So if you listen to this, Simon Sinek says that he wants his happiness would come through three things. He's working on a project involved with police reform right now, and he would like to contribute significantly to police reform. Well, can you imagine local and regional and national policing that is evolved to the point where, just as citizens can do with their government, like Taiwan does, where they engage with their government online, where citizens and their police departments could engage online, right? We would, we think of, if you follow some of the stuff in police reform and the changes that they've done, you'll have like community policing, where they have police officers who are in specific communities and out on the streets, and they just make themselves visible. Imagine what happens if we can elevate that to the point where online there's a portal and a way that the citizens and the police departments can work together. How cool would that be in every community? And how could that bring us together? And everybody who thinks, we have to move past this online world and get to the point where we engage each other in real life, where we can touch each other, where we get out and touch grass. It's up to us to use the internet to accomplish that, right? We're all already on the internet. If we need to be more present for each other, then let's use the internet to achieve that, not complain about how the internet's causing the problem. That's our responsibility as self-determinate human beings. So the second thing he talks about is, he says he wants to help figure out better systems to reinvent what modern business looks like and to disrupt shareholder supremacy. If hundreds of thousands or millions or a couple of billion of us unite online democratically, we're going to show you a video that will demonstrate how powerful and influential we will become. And at IOD Nations, everything is based upon a premise that says, if a business no longer requires brick and mortar, then a nation no longer requires land and borders. And so the idea is that we can unite online as anything, all the way up until nations. We could have the International Online Democratic Women's Nation, or the International Online Democratic Youth Nation, or the International Online Democratic Journalism Nation. And the people that you're watching here, I'll say this for Greg, you're watching Simon Sinek, and you're watching Stephen Bartlett, who has the podcast Diary of the CEO, and we're going to watch another one in a moment that has Trevor Noah, and we're going to be emailing them specifically to say, your goals and objectives can best be achieved by helping us get to the pro-democracy citizens of the world to unite online. That's all this is. We're going to send them emails. We're going to ask a bunch of you. If you listened a few minutes ago, I forget the words that Jamie used, but she was talking about a unity of purpose, right? And the whole purpose of IOD Nations is to get the world talking about and participating in uniting online democratically and using the internet, the most powerful tool and weapon in history, for freedom and democracy. And so when Simon talks about figuring out better systems for business, I go back to what started me on this journey. Was I had invented a product, I wanted to bring it to market, I was going to do it on Kickstarter, and then I realized it took me about 4 years to develop it to the point where it was really ready to go. And I realized that Kickstarter had evolved to the point that if I put it out there, primarily China was going to steal it, and they would bring it to market, the type of product I had, before I could even finish my Kickstarter. I watched it happen to other products, and I was like, I'd spent this money in this 4 years, and I had this amazing product, and I'm like, hell, I would just, if I could just recover what I invested in it, I would sell it for the benefit of humanity, right? Let the world take it and let it be a product that funds good things across the world. That's more important than me being wealthy, okay? And so that product is still out there. It's going to be a part of this movement, and it's going to be a product that generates a lot of money um, for various causes and things. And so that is the disruption of how business is done. Just like Amazon created an online retail marketplace, if we all unite online, we can create our own marketplace. Okay. All of these companies that sell through Amazon, okay, they would just as well go sell through another online marketplace that benefits the employees and humanity and works for the social good. Okay. And you can set it up where people, the consumer can choose how to do that. They can click on a mouse and choose what charities or what services they want a portion of those profits to go to. And it's a whole new model, which is what Simon Sinek described. Reinvent what modern business looks like and disrupt shareholder supremacy. And so that's possible if we all unite online. And I believe that we can show Simon Sinek how that can be accomplished. Okay. And then the third thing that he said was he wants the sum of his work to move the needle significantly towards an inspired, safe, and fulfilled world. Okay. That's what this man says would make him very happy. And what we're trying to say to him is that if he will come out and speak about and ask questions about and learn about what could happen if we citizens unite online democratically and how we can accomplish these things, that could be the voice that sparks a flood of people uniting online and accomplishing things. And so that's why I've chosen this email campaign. Now, we have Greg and Chardonnay are working on an email campaign that has to do with Epstein. We have or maybe I got my names confused there. We have Peter, who's from Canada, who opened this show up. He's working, and we're trying to put together help from him to put together an email and outreach campaign to Canada. Also, as we're speaking, Iceland, Switzerland, Ireland, and the Netherlands are all in the process of working on integrating their government with their citizens in different online ways. We know that Barcelona has done it. We know that there are groups in Munich that have done it. So we're on the cutting edge of this, but the sooner it happens, the bigger the changes we can make, or the timing of those changes can happen and stop some of this shit that's going on in our world right now. And so that's why you're here. We're here to try and bring you together to work with us. We have a portal where you could put your ideas. So for instance, if we're looking here, Jill's from England. Jill, we have a gentleman from England who's reached out to us who has direct access to a member of parliament and a leader in the Democratic Party in England. And so we're going to put this email together, and we're hoping that Dan can share that and Jill can share it, and possibly because Stephen Bartlett is from England and he's got this massively popular podcast, that maybe we can get some traction that way. We also want to reach out to these other countries. We're trying to generate email lists to Iceland, Switzerland, Ireland, and the Netherlands, who are looking at doing this. Can we reach out to them and explain how we can not just do this as a local government or as a national government, but we can turn around and make it international? And so that's what we're asking help with. We need to do video content. We need to do better with our YouTube channel, and that's where we're going. So I'm going to ask Draco. Hey, Draco, while you're pulling up the other video of Simon Sinek with Trevor Noah, Jamie, I see you're still here. Did any of that like inform you a bit more about what who we are and what we're trying to do and what we're talking about? Maybe Jamie's not
Yeah.
there. Oh, there
Yeah,
she
no,
is.
I'm here.
Yeah. Did that
Yeah, no,
did
it
that
did.
help?
And yeah, it does. And it resonates. I've lived in the UK a few times. My youngest was born there. I was married to a Brit for 18 years. So I understand the culture and the politics over there as well. So I think at this point, uh, as many other countries as we can reach and get behind us is good too, because we're kind of stuck in our own trauma loop of watching these horrible news feeds every single day. That's just like, oh God, can we do something, anything? I'll take any kind of silver lining I can at this point, because it's just, while you're talking, there's all these, the Midas things popping up, and it's doom and gloom, and there's ceasefire's been broken, and there's more lies, and there's more memes being posted by the administration, and it's just chaos. And if I've been saying online, I think it'd be more useful to not, focus on the narcissistic abuse, because they just use it for fuel, and they profit off of it with every single click. So it's good, I think, to have a place to put good thoughts, positive thoughts, and a positive trajectory towards something better. Because the way we're doing it is we are circling the drain.
So it's interesting you use that word trajectory, which Greg, if you see him in the chat in Zoom, I don't know if that's that's where you are. But here's the thing that's amazing about this. Okay. One of the slogans that I have is called make democracy offensive, not anonymous. Okay. So there's this intentional goodness aspect of this, right? Of uniting all these people online. But that's not all this is, right? I've got Rakesh and Draco, and even Peter to a sense, who work with we're all working together on this, like Chardonnay is, and Greg. But these guys, Draco and Rakesh and Nasib and some of the guys who are working there, they're really, promoting peace and harmony and, unite the world and do good things and all that stuff. But there's another side to this, okay? When and it doesn't take that many people, okay? And so what I'm going to ask you to do is think of boycotts, for instance, in a different way. What I'm going to talk about here is just one of what are literally probably hundreds or thousands of ways that people who are united online democratically can impose their will upon those who aren't pro-democracy, okay? So think of this. About 2 or 3 months ago, I was pissed and I wanted to boycott someone. And I went and I looked at one of the lists. And I got this list and it was like 20 corporations. And I'm going, oh, I hate those bastards. You know, I'm going to boycott them and this. But as I looked at all these companies, I was just overwhelmed. Like, you know, what products do they sell? How do I best boycott them? You know, how do I share that and get someone else to be involved? And what I realized is this: everything changes when we have a large number of people united online. So imagine that Victoria, who just joined us in the live chat on Substack. Welcome, Victoria. Welcome, Robert. Imagine that Victoria is the president of the International Online Democratic Women's Nation. Okay, and Victoria comes out for a public press release, and Victoria says, "We at the International Online Democratic Women's Nation have chosen the names of 20 corporations, and we demand that you come out as a corporation and publicly call for the release of the Epstein files." Okay. And for instance, you can structure this however you want. You have to make it something that this corporation can do, right? And that you write into your mission statement for your company that you intend that our government uphold its constitution and that people who commit crimes like this be brought to justice. And we, the International Online Democratic Women's Nation, demand that from you. And here's what we're going to do. Here's the 20 names. We're going to drop all 20 into a hat, and we're going to pull out one name. And understand, our International Online Democratic Women's Nation is 1 billion strong now, okay? But it doesn't have to be. You could do this with a couple thousand. But if you do this and you pull out that name of that corporation, and now you ask the citizens of your online democratic nation to conduct an international boycott on that company, okay? And all that company, let's say it's Facebook, all that company has to do is come out, make a public demand for the release of the Epstein files. As a company, we demand that, and we demand that the government follow the Constitution the way it traditionally has, and we're writing that into our mission statement because we're a pro-freedom and democracy company. Now, Facebook has a choice. They can either capitulate and do that, or they alienate themselves to the International Online Democratic Women's Nation. What do you think Facebook's going to do? Because right now, Victoria and the women of the International Online Democratic Women's Nation, they can go to Claude and hire a tech person, and they can build an online social media platform to compete with Facebook. Or they can go to Blue Sky and say, Blue Sky, will you be a pro-democracy online platform? And can we update your social media platform to function with some of these other functions that we want? And the secret isn't here. The secret here isn't that you get Facebook to capitulate. The secret is the other 19 companies and corporations whose name are in that hat, because now they've been put on notice before all of the women in the world and all of the pro-democracy citizens of the world who are united online. Those 19 companies and corporations know that they're next. Okay. If you've switched it. We're not going to them to boycott them anymore. We're putting them on notice. You better come to us. And these are our demands. What do you think of that?
I don't think Facebook really cares and they have enough money not to. I would take it to all of the companies that women support with cosmetics, with clothing, with lingerie, with hair color, with haircuts, and everything that women do and spend money to be women. And I would ask those companies to get behind us or we won't support them.
And Jamie, here's the amazing part. You and Victoria are leaders of the International Online Democratic Women's Nation, and you guys simply get to put out the names of 20 or 30 or 40 companies, and you as the women and the citizens of the International Online Democratic Women's Nation, you get to pick whatever damn companies you want to because it's your damn nation.
And I
You
say all
guys
of
make the
them.
rules.
How much money have
Yeah,
we spent as women on these things?
this
And
is
you
the whole
can't
thing.
stand up behind it and support them? I think it's
That's
absolutely
it.
appalling. Yeah,
And
I agree.
you guys get to create that. It's and so now for the International Online Democratic Art Nation, the musicians may come in and they may say, you know what? God damn it, I am sick of paying for my music streaming service to someone where the musicians hardly get any benefit. You guys better create a service that's pro-democracy and funds benefit the artists like the musicians whose music you're selling, or we're gonna come up with our own music sharing platform because we can do it. And we've got the backing. We're the International Online Democratic Art Nation. We've got the backing of the International Online Democratic Women's Nation. And you bastards are going to listen to us or we're going to upset the whole apple cart. And this whole thing. We have to get people to understand what we're going to show you in this next video. So Draco, could you cut to our Earth video? This demonstrates what we mean when we talk about the real power that we have online if we choose to unite. And this will kind of explain it. So you'll when Peter does it, he uses a metaphor and he describes our entities that we unite online. He describes them as planets. So he sees a planet that is online democratic Canada and another planet that is online democratic Ukraine. And then another planet that is the International Online Democratic Women's Nation. So he describes them as planets. I describe them as online democratic nations. All they are is a form of collaboration, right? You can put any name on it that you want. Hey, Draco, do you have that video ready? So as we wait and Draco's going to pull this, okay, he's going to need about 10 minutes because he updated it. There you go. Chardonnay just posted. We are iodnations.org, International Online Democratic Nations.org. And we are asking you to email us, to either follow us, participate in some of our email and outreach campaigns, and indicate that in your email, or actually come in and be one of the people who's helping make this happen. And we have a number of areas that you can participate in that. I'm going to ask Draco a quick question. I'm going to pull Peter in here in a minute, and Chardonnay, and so let me introduce you first. Draco is, we call him AOP, our Agent of Peace. Hey, Draco, if you can ready the, We can do the planet video, or if you have the Trevor Noah video with Simon Sinek ready, we could do that as well. You can pull it up and put up there whatever you have, and we'll work around it. We have Rakesh. So Draco and Rakesh both work with me on this exclusively. And we've been working at this on Substack since the first of the year. Peter and Chardonnay are two of the people who have stepped up and said they want to volunteer, and they're participating in helping us make this happen. And you'll be working directly with them if you come in to work with us on anything from video production to proofreading to email campaigns. But let's watch this second interview, Simon Sinek with Trevor Noah, and then I'll bring that back in and tie it into IOD Nations. Go ahead, Draco. Thank you.
In the cases, there's some sort of hardship that in all of your,
You're talking about what unifies
the
people
Weto example,
to work together.
Like as hardship is relieved, and choice is a relief of hardship, then for some reason, our ability to cooperate and put up with each other seems to go down.
So I will agree with one part of it. I still come back to, I don't even think it's hardship. I think it's just the constraining factor. Here's why I say this. Let's say there is an island of mega rich people and they go hang out together and they're on this mega rich island and they do whatever they want to do, right? It's the mega rich. They're having a great time. If they are confined or constrained in some way, they will find the same thing, and they do find it temporarily. So if you've maybe been to them, I've visited them on occasion, but you get these places where people go to these like golf resorts and it's like, wow, what is this place? And in that place, I have found people have a different level of community, a different level of enjoyment, a different level of, it's like people buzzing around on golf carts and people meeting, and there's only the 4 restaurants, and all you can do is choose from one of the 4, and so you just rotate. Yeah, we'll do the Spanish place on Monday, and then we always love doing the Italian place on Wednesdays, and
I'll have the eggs again. Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you're constrained. So there's this weird thing that happens. I even think about it for my life as I go, the great curse is going to be the choice. The great curse is going to be knowing that you can choose. So how do you create artificial like constraint for yourself to help yourself? Because I don't think it's about hardship at all. I think you can have a good time together.
It's constraint.
But if you cannot like change the people or the situation, it changes your ability to appreciate or get along with the change or the situation.
So there's a story about a shoe salesman in Los Angeles in the 1950s. I can't remember his name, but he was a very successful entrepreneur who owned a whole bunch of women's shoe stores.
Yeah.
And a journalist asked him, "What's your secret?" And he said, 2, not 3. And they're like, "What do you mean?" He goes, if a woman comes into my store, I'll bring her a pair of shoes. She'll try them on. And she'll say, "Could I see that pair, please?" And I'll bring her a second pair of shoes. And she said, "Could I also see that pair, please?" And he'll say, "Which one would you like me to take away?"
Oh.
Because what he found
Wow.
is when they had a choice of 3, they bought none. And when they had a choice of 2, they bought 1.
Ah, I love that.
Right? 2, not 3. And too much choice is overwhelming.
Oh
but the
man,
constraint,
I need to apply that to my life. You see, that's brilliant. I love it when people find the nexus of how you're supposed to do it. Because I understood it as a concept, but it's a nice way to think about it for anything, really.
Yeah. And so what I've started doing in my life is I've added constraint, right? And I didn't even realize it until we're talking right now, which is like I've got all these options on the table. Pick, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
right?
no, I know what you mean.
And what I'll start doing is I'll start pairing them off. I'll be like, okay, between these 2, okay, get rid of that one. Okay, between these 2, okay, get rid of that one. Between these 2, and the choices become really easy. And then I get to the final 2, I'm like, oh, it's obvious, it's that one. Whereas I'm looking at 6 or 5 or 4 or 3, and I'm like, but this one gives me this, and that one, and I'm playing them off and doing sort of,
That's
pros
really
and cons.
Yeah, I love that.
But it's the trick of the flipping the coin.
Yeah.
I don't know, should I do this or that? And you like flip a coin.
Yeah, and you accept fate's decision.
Well, the question is, do you want to flip again? It's whether you're satisfied with the coin flip or not. And it works every time. When people are stuck between a choice and you force them to flip a coin, you say the coin decides. And if they're happy with what the coin decides, they go
That
with it.
is what
And if they're
yeah.
unhappy, then obviously go with the other one.
Yes, because I think we are so terrified of making the wrong choice. And rightly so, by the way. If you're living your life well, you don't want to make the wrong choice.
No.
That's why, you know, when you book something, you go sort by price. Because you're like, okay, I'll make it a price choice because the world has told me that price is the
Right.
most important. So we all go, where's the fence?
Yeah.
For everything. Where's the fence for the speed limits? Where's the fence for shooting a person or not shooting? Where's the fence for food?
And if I go outside that fence, I know there's a consequence.
And
we
people
agree to the
on the
fence.
fence, right?
Yeah.
Then what happens? Because of how power isn't equally shared, because of how some people are able to manipulate, all of a sudden, somebody's jumping over the fence or doing, and you're like, hey, and the person's like, yeah, well, look how big I am.
Yeah.
I'm a corporation. And you're like, yeah, but we agreed on the fence. And they're like, yeah, well, I didn't break the fence. I just climb over it.
The fence that they're referring to is the law.
The point of the fence is that you're not supposed to get over it. And they're like, no, the law says I'm not allowed to break the fence, but I can climb over the fence. And then what happens to the people? If they can't do anything within the fence, they then go, okay, look, you get over the fence. I can't get over the fence.
Yeah.
And then one person, this kid allegedly goes, actually, you know what? I'm just going to break the fence.
Yeah.
And so then people go, actually, in a weird way, and this is what's so complicated for people to understand, especially people if they're in like power or whatever.
Can you pause that, Draco?
Panic.
So what they're talking about here is they're talking about the young man who shot the CEO from, I think it was United Healthcare, and how that young man chose to break the law because the healthcare company maybe technically had not been breaking the law this whole time, but they kept hopping over the fence. In other words, they kept doing things that were clearly not the right thing to do, limiting people's access to healthcare, blocking certain treatments and all this. But in the earlier portion of this, what they were talking about was that constraint is what unites us, okay? The reason why all of you are here is to promote and improve the constraint of freedom and democracy. Because living in a free and democratic society is a constraint, right? We all chose, we used to have much more agreement about what was legal and what was not legal, what was okay to do to women or what was okay to do to children, and whether people should be prosecuted for that or whether they could get elected into office or be appointed into office based on doing those things. And the place where we are right now, the reason why you're here is because there are only two choices, okay? There is either primarily authoritarian leadership, or primarily free and democratic leadership. And our primarily free and democratic leadership has collapsed. So for Jill, who's been here a number of times, and Dan, I like to say, democracy is dead. Long live democracy. Just like they say about the king or the queen. It is up to us. We cannot permit ourselves to be the first generation of human beings who failed to build the next bold new models of freedom and democracy when the previous models failed. Because the only other alternative is authoritarianism, okay? And every one of you who is here right now, you have the ability to participate in this and to help make it happen at the click of a mouse or the tap of a screen. And that's why we're here today to talk with you, is to convince you to tap your screen and send an email to our email address, okay? Click your mouse and type in the message section here in the live chat, type, yes, I want to help, or yes, I'm going to follow you, or yes, I'm going to share what you're talking about. That's what we're here to do. And as soon as this breaks, as soon as it pops, you're going to see thousands and thousands of people all of a sudden realize that they can unite online democratically. You're going to see the BIPOC of the world, the LGBTQ plus of the world, the climate activists of the world, the journalists of the world, the comedians of the world, you know, the women of the world, the youth of the world. They're all going to want their opportunity. The Ukrainians are going to unite online, okay? And they're going to become one of the first traditional nations to do that. I believe that once they realize the power and influence that they will have in the world, then they're going to do that, right? And they're going to end up being a world leader. And that's why you're here today, is you believe that there has to be a way to move forward that is bold and powerful. And just think of it. Can you imagine what an international online democratic women's nation is going to be responsible for accomplishing? It's really interesting. In one of the other interviews that I saw from Stephen Bartlett, I believe that's his name, it's absolutely proven that there are really important ways that women are better leaders than men. Okay, they inherently have these qualities of collaboration and bringing people to work together to work better. It's just nature. Okay, now I'm not saying that women are always better leaders and men are poor leaders. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, damn it, it's time that women get the opportunity. And honestly, it's time that you guys step up. Okay, it's time to unite online and make this stuff happen. So, Peter, I've been mouthing off long enough. Come on in and say something.
There we go. Well, thanks, Joel. No, you saved me. I know you can explain this a lot clearer than I can at the moment, but I'm getting better. I am getting better.
You are. You are. And we appreciate it, man.
Oh, well, thank
You
you.
guys, you guys don't know what it means for me to have other people like Peter and Chardonnay and I mean Rakesh and Draco. I can't tell you how much they do for me, but the feeling of having other people who are willing to put their face in front of this and step in and say, I buy into this and I want to be a part of it, and we'd like you to do it too. So I'm gonna shut up here for a few minutes and leave that to you. And then Draco, can you just send us a message and let us know when you have the Earth uploaded so we can post it? Go ahead, guys. And anyone, wait, but or Peter, you can invite anyone else. I don't know if the guys have showed you how you can bring people in if someone else wants to comment. We're always open and encouraging people to comment.
Absolutely. And how you do that is you can raise your hand. Either if you're on the chat, you just raise your hand with there's a little icon there you can push, and I'll see it. Or if you're on the live video screen, I can see you when your hand comes up. Here's ready to share. So we have the video ready to share, and Draco's gonna bring that up for us, and let's relax and watch it.
Cool.
Here's ready to share. So we have the video ready to share, and Draco's gonna
Welcome
bring
to
that up for us, and let's relax and watch it. There's a lag.
Cool. Welcome to IODNations.org, International Online Democratic Nations.org. Welcome to IOD. We're promoting online citizen-led democracy, very much like V Taiwan. Welcome to IOD Nations for the last 11 years. International. I think maybe we had a problem there with the way it was playing, that it was multiple.
I think it was looping.
Yeah. We're going to try it one more time. Welcome to IODNations.org, International Online Democratic Nations.org, where we're promoting online citizen-led democracy, very much like V Taiwan has had for the last 11 years, which has resulted in increased public approval of their government from 9% to 70%. There are three fundamental premises. One is that if a business no longer requires brick and mortar, then a nation no longer requires land and borders. The second one is we are the internet. We do not access the internet. We grant the internet access to us. Without us, they ain't shit. And the third foundational premise is if you are not actively pro-democracy, if you are not pro-democracy, then you are not pro-democracy. So Bernard Shaw said, you see things and ask why. I dream things and ask why not. This is planet Earth. Humans have existed on planet Earth first as tribes and now as nations. Nations are the highest form of human collaboration that has ever existed. But does a nation require land and borders? In this next slide, you see us, the humans, the world's citizens who are on planet Earth. Currently, we are being used and abused like crops or cattle or swine. And we are being exploited. About 30 years ago, Al Gore invented the internet. And at IOD Nations, we ask you to consider looking at the internet as if it's its own environment or atmosphere, and it completely surrounds planet Earth and all of human existence now. So our world has changed in ways that were never viable or did not exist until Al Gore invented the internet. And now this is what's happening on the internet. We currently have these entities. These are a visual simulation of some of the most powerful and influential entities in the internet, but they are not the internet. They have trained us, in essence, to think that they are the internet. And the arrows that you see going out is this representation that we have. If I were to ask anyone here, do you access the internet? And virtually everyone would say yes. And that's what the arrows demonstrate, is that we are accessing them. And these are bad actors. They are malicious. They are destroying world democracy. And they believe that they've also already obtained dominion over the internet. But here's what they don't realize. We are the commodity that they market. Without us, Facebook can't sell advertising. We think that we're actually accessing Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. But the reality is we're granting them access to us. But if we choose to unite online, as for instance, the IOD US Nation, the IOD Women's Nation, the IOD UK Nation, these are citizen-led unifications. They are separate from our existing traditional governments. These nations, like the IOD Youth Nation and the IOD Art Nation, they can have their own constitution. They can have their own Bill of Rights or Declaration of Independence. They can have their own voting systems with ranked choice voting if they want. They are their own nations. They are their own entities. But what is amazing about this is by uniting online and establishing some filters, we realize that we can set up filters that do not grant them direct access to us because we are the internet. Without us, they ain't shit. Okay? When we unite and we establish that every entity that wants unfiltered access to us, whether that's economically, socially, religiously, politically, internationally, if they want access to us, we require that they prove that they are pro-democracy. Otherwise, they get filtered access to us. And at this moment, when we do this, we have completely flipped the script, right? All we have to do is target any one of these entities or any one entity with enough people united online, and then everybody, all of the others, once you down one or once you significantly impact one, all of the others, if you're large enough, if you're united enough, if you're collaborating well enough, they all start coming to us. Then when that happens, we aren't in this feed trying to figure out how to protect ourselves from them. They're in a feed like this trying to figure out what they need to do to get access to us so that their business models stay viable. And if they don't adapt, if they don't demonstrate that they're pro-freedom and democracy, we are the internet. Without us, you ain't shit. And that's when we flip them off and we let them know that the whole dynamics of what's going on in the world have just shifted. And everything, economically, socially, militarily, politically, it's all now put into the hands and largely controlled by the pro-democracy citizens of the world who have united online. Okay, so in response, I forget who said it. Someone was commenting, or it was Jamie. Sorry, Jamie. Jamie was commenting about targeting companies that primarily sell directly to women. So you could take that image that you looked at where we had planet Earth, okay? That planet Earth, so matching perfectly with Peter's metaphor, okay? That planet Earth is now the IOD Women's Planet, the International Online Democratic Women's Planet, okay? And the women can establish those guidelines, right? They can put the filters around. If you want to access them online and you want to do business with them, you want to interact with them socially, maybe you want to interact with them politically. They make their own damn rules, okay? And they can designate to those companies like Victoria's Secret, okay? I've got an email template set up. We could put together somewhere between 100 and 1,000 women to put together an email campaign to Victoria's Secret, and I bet you could get them to come out at calling for the release of the Epstein files, because there are very strategic and tactical ways that you can send emails that disrupt the whole email system. Okay. And this is the power that women have if they unite online democratically. And we always say democratically because that is the constriction that Simon Sinek and Trevor Noah were talking about, right? The constriction that holds us all together, the constriction that keeps us united, is we don't lose sight of the prize. Every one of us, every issue that we care about is significantly improved in a free and democratic society. And so nothing, we don't allow anything to mess with that. The fundamental premise is if you want to do business with us, then show us your pro-freedom and democracy. And if you don't, we're going to give that direct access to another company that is. And if you've ever looked at what it is to start a small business or to start a company, pretty much any product you want, you can get that manufacturer to make it for you and put your brand name on it. So let's say Chardonnay decides that she is a big proponent of toothpaste, and she wants to do her own Chardonnay's toothpaste. Maybe it tastes like Chardonnay wine. Who the hell knows, right? She can go. I forget what they're called, but there are lots of these companies, and they produce toothpastes, and according to certain recipes, and they put it into tubes and they brand it and they sell it. And she can have Chardonnay's toothpaste, and 10% of our profits go to the Epstein victims. And we're in on an ongoing basis working to help the Epstein victims. And we'll buy the women of the International Online Democratic Women's Nation will decide whether or not they want to buy Chardonnay's toothpaste and support that cause, right? That's I call it, refer to it as, it's social entrepreneurship or socio-capitalism, right? But the International Online Women's Nation creates their own economy, and they run their own economy, and they set their rules, and it's theirs, and no one else tells them how to do it. And that is the point that we're trying to make. The women of the world, the youth of the world, the citizens of Canada, the citizens of Michigan, right? I have sent numerous emails and made a couple phone calls to Governor Newsom, right? Why isn't there an online citizen-led California? And why aren't we integrating with the state government of California so that we citizens in California have direct access? We can promote things that are important to us quickly and get action on them. And Jamie could do the same thing in Michigan. And that's why we're here. Chardonnay, you want to do your own toothpaste? No, I see.
I don't think toothpaste, but I'll think of something. Chardonnay. I don't think people want to wake up and go to the office smelling like wine that early in the morning.
Probably not a good idea, huh?
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll have to think of something else.
But think of that. When the women of the world unite online, that is hilarious. Want to get fired? Use Chardonnay's toothpaste.
Chardonnay. It's yummy after dark.
But think of that. This International Online Democratic Women's Nation gets to create their own damn economy, right? As a part of this online democratic economy. And you know where I'll tell a funny story. So I followed, I forget whether it was Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and these are places where you can it's like crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, okay? And you can go in and propose a product, And if people want to buy that product, they'll in essence pre-order it and prepay for it. And then you can develop your product. And I saw this was years and years ago, and the product was condoms for trees. And it was this young man, and he had come up with this idea. He was going to go to Coachella or whatever, and he wanted to sell his own condom brand. And for every condom that you bought, he would plant 3 trees or something. Okay. But what I realized was, because I actually called him, I supported his campaign, and I called him and talked to him. And what I realized was, I forget what the number was, but let's say there were like 3 to 5 condom manufacturers in the world. And they pretty much manufacture all the condoms and all the different brand names, and they just put different brand names on them. And so he had gone to them and said, hey, what are your minimum order quantities to get this? And I want to brand it as condoms for trees. And he found out, if he ordered 5,000 condoms or whatever, he'd get them at this price, and he could have them branded in his own thing. And the Women's Nation, the International Online Democratic Women's Nation, can go in and do that. And you can put all of these companies and these corporations on notice that they need to be pro-democracy. And that's, you get to create your own businesses and your own economy, and do things these different ways. Like Simon Sinek said, I want to reinvent what modern business looks like and disrupt shareholder supremacy. And right there, the women of the IOD Women's Nation, in essence, become some type of shareholders, because they are the marketplace for that. I just think it's the coolest. I just don't think people realize what's possible.
I think, yeah, that women women were always the social record keepers. If you look back through history, they were the ones that talked about what happened, what they worried about, and those sorts of things. So to sit here and watch, women, and you can eat. Every woman I know understands and feels this, where they're not getting justice. And they're not getting justice from our government. And there is a downstream effect of really horrible men out there that just feel they can say anything to women these days. And it's really gross. So it seems like in our capitalist economy, that really perfumes become unaffordable. Makeup has become unaffordable. All these things have become unaffordable, and nobody's standing up for the women. So if we were to create some kind of an email campaign to say we picked 10 major fashion and beauty retailers, Revlon, CoverGirl, Victoria's Secret, whatever, and said, hey, will you stand with these women and stand up and accompany us to a protest to release the Epstein files? There's going to be some that will, and there's going to be some that won't. So that's that power of choice that Simon Sinek was talking about. If you choose to keep your head down for, whatever you might be gaining from the government, I can't imagine what it would be at this point, financially or otherwise, then their reputation is on the line. Do you want women to buy from you? Do you stand with women? Stand with us now. Because I'm tired of seeing it over and over again. It's just disgusting. And I did, yeah. I dodged that bullet in '87. They did definitely traffic. I went to John Casablancas and got accepted. They're like, yep, come to New York. I'm like, just like that? Like a orphan on the street? Yeah. I'm like, it doesn't sound safe. They said, okay, well, you'll be in the book. I'm like, oh, gross. I'm in a book. And then they said, well, there's some local work for you. We'll go see $500 an hour and bring a bikini. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So yes, they definitely trafficked women, and I can speak to that. Definitely.
Well, okay. And that is that is one of the campaigns. And so we have, if you, there's a lot of people here who have been at prior shows, live feeds here. Okay.
Mm.
And we have not done as well at getting our email campaigns and our outreach going, but we are going to. So, I know that some people commented in here. I'm going to sort of speak to everybody once more, and then we're going to move this show forward. We will have the email template that we've created for Simon Sinek, Trevor Noah. I've got to make sure we've got the emails for Trevor Noah, a way to reach out to him, and to Stephen Bartlett. But I've got it for Simon Sinek. We're going to share those email addresses that we have, and we're going to ask. We've had, I think we're up to about 250 people now who have over the last couple of months have said they want to participate in some stuff. So we're going to share those email templates, or that email template and email addresses with everybody today. And what we're asking is if you would, from your email, copy those email addresses, and you can edit the email template if you want to, but basically we're sending it to these influencers, asking them to get involved with the discussion and the promotion of online citizen-led democracy. And like I said earlier, Chardonnay and Peter and Greg and damn it, who was the other? And Jill are going to be working on 2 other email campaigns that we know of. One's going to be for Canada and some international outreach, and the other one is going to be towards the Epstein victims. And so hopefully by Wednesday, we will have something in along those lines that can be sent. And I would really, really encourage anyone here to understand we're the only, I looked at 50 Substack lives or 50 Substacks, and I couldn't find one that actually had a plan and strategy and tactics to move things forward. I know that from what I understand, Lev Parnas got a little bit of an idea of what we were doing and started doing some emailing, and he's got larger groups. He's got a much larger audience, and they're sending out emails in certain ways, but they're not talking about uniting people online democratically. And so we want to put together an outreach to a couple of those other live feeds where we get, 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 of us to go in there and share a message with them in their live feed that says, please come talk to us about online citizen-led democracy. We think it's important. And we want to get some of these influencers to engage in this stuff. And we need people to come in and help us do that. We've got so much outreach that we could be doing with more more assistance. It's really that, is having the time to do the videos and to create some of the graphics and to share those messages. So we are going to post our email address once again. I'll ask everybody in the Substack, is there anyone in here who would like to come in and chat with us in front of everybody before we end today's show and before we move this to its closing? Peter, what are you thinking?
I think, well, I'll give you my, we're talking about what this project we want to do with it, but we don't talk about the structure and how we're going to accomplish that. And one of the things we talked about last week was having people that are committed and understand that to move this forward, we have to create a structure. And I think it was Robin that posed the question: how does this? What can we do to make this go forward quicker? And I think the first idea that came to my head is serious. Be serious about this. It's not a hobby. It's a serious movement, and I like to deal with serious people, and serious people with a sense of humor. That's for sure. We can make this fun, actually. And it's something that I really believe that it's time, and we have the tools to do it in. And I really appreciate Joel, Draco, and Rakesh, and how much time and finance they put into this themselves. And the 3 points I put down is, education, which probably we can look at this program. What we're doing now is education, the education part of it. The next one is the action line. So we could have one entity like this one, the education line. The next one is we could have people working on the action line. Like you said, Joel, earlier, who are we going to target? Why are we going to target? And how do we go about doing that? And then another group in the discussion line, which brings up concepts, or not concepts, but grievances, or not even grievances. Sometimes it's the other way around. How can we better something that's already working very well? So it's a positive route to achieve change without to achieve change in a calm and respectful manner. And that's what I'm all about. Respecting who's doing it, respecting democracy. The definition of democracy, and to have those people that understand that and want to work towards something and be involved in this grassroots movement, pushing forward with a lot of great people and making this thing happen. Because I really believe this is the only way it's gonna happen. Forget about looking at the past the way it was, or wishing something that is going to come back from the past. This is an online world now, and we got to use the tools that are there. And it's not changing from within; it's changing. It's changing by creating another model and forgetting about what's happening now. It's not about that anymore. We know it's not working. We know it's not working. So what are we going to do about it? Complain about it and wish that something's going to change? No, we can change it. We can change that, and with numbers. So with that note, I think Greg wants to say something, and I'll let him go ahead.
Okay, hi. If Chardonnay doesn't mind, is Chardonnay still here? Can you tell me if Chardonnay's still here?
She's here. She's here.
I'd like Chardonnay to speak a little bit about what happened after our last meeting and the interaction that I had with her and what happened as a result of it. And then I have something I want to tell Joel after that.
Okay.
We had a great meeting. And we were just kind of spitballing some ideas and with laughter and joy, and thinking about different things, and I'm a very visual person, and sometimes I just see pictures of things, And I always, when it happens, I always wish that I was a cartoonist or a caricature or something, and I could jot it down and make it so that I could show it to somebody, like a show and tell, so I could get it out of my brain and show it to somebody. But I was describing it to Greg, and he just, God, I love him. He's amazing because I had this idea, and he saw it too. He understood what I meant. And then when we were finished talking about it, we said goodnight, and he just took off apparently and shared it with Joel. And then the next thing I know, it came to fruition and he shared it with me. And I was so excited to actually see my brain on democracy on paper. And I just thank you both. And I hope something positive and wonderful comes out of it. But I just
I'm
think
excited
that
to see it.
it's just it was it's what this can be. It's just what this whole wonderful experience a Joel's creation can turn into, because somebody has an idea, somebody else says, "Oh, I know what you mean. I can do this, I can do that." They take a piece of it, they go, and it just does. It's for the first time. Oh God, I'm crying because I'm crying with joy because when you're by yourself in your house, and if Jill's here, she knows what it's like. When you're here and you're by yourself in your house and you have these ideas and your soul and your heart are filled with them, and you make notes and notes and notes, but nothing happens. But maybe Joe knows what it's like too, because you have it on paper, but it's not happening. And then all of a sudden, oh my Lord, it happens. It's like, thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so there we go. He knows.
Okay,
He
thanks,
knows.
Chardonnay.
Hmm?
Okay, thanks, Chardonnay. I don't think Joel knows what happened. I sent
No, but
this
Joel's
out.
excited as hell.
I sent this out to over 200 emails. Obviously, I don't think you read it. I took the license of putting my name and your name on an article I wrote.
Okay.
If you'll forgive me, you'll get to read it.
We'll find out. Hopefully I will, Greg.
You'll get to read. I don't think Joel knows, because
You put Joel's name on it?
I put
your
Joel's
name
name on it because it's his idea.
Of course,
I
yes.
put his name on it only because it's his idea. But when you shared your idea with me, I took the ball and ran with it.
Okay.
So, and I sent it out to over 200 people. And I think Draco got it, and Rakesh, and so forth. And I sent it to IOD Nations. Whether somebody reads something or sees something or not, I'm not responsible for that.
Of course, yeah.
But I'll apologize to Joel because I took poetic license in the fact that IOD Nations is his idea, but the article and the picture was our idea.
Yes.
Fair enough?
Can you share
Is
the
that
link?
fair enough,
Yeah. Can you share it so that Draco can put it up for people to see?
You should already have it. It's in the IOD Nations email. I sent it to them. I'm not going to do it again. It's already done.
Okay.
I sent over 200 emails with this information.
He was sick, so it might have gotten lost in a bunch of things. That's the only thing.
Yeah, this was not a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I think we're gonna get it.
Oh boy, I love Draco comes together. There it is. This is your brain on democracy.
How cool. Oh, I can't wait
Just
to
let
read it,
everybody
Greg.
read it.
I am.
Huh? Can you read it out loud, Greg?
Just don't scroll too fast so people can read it. Okay, I'm going to mute.
I'm going to read it.
Okay, thank
Democracy
Yeah,
you.
is not a
yeah.
machine that Democracy is not a machine that runs on its own. It's a living network of minds questioning, imagining, collaborating, and lifting together. And right now, across the free world, people are searching for a place where their ideas matter and their participation carries weight. International Online Democratic Nations was created for exactly that purpose, iodnations.org. This is a global, open, free space where democratic thinkers can gather, collaborate, and vote on the issues they care about most. No fees, no barriers, no gatekeepers, just people who believe that democracy works best when everyone contributes their light. Why IOD Nations exists. Some people express their democratic values through writing, some through conversation, some through action. But until now, there has not been a single place where everyday people, from students to travelers to lifelong civic thinkers, could come together and coordinate their voices across borders. IOD Nations. So that's my only critique, Greg, is we got to get IOD Nations right. IOD Nations fills that gap by offering free collaboration with others who care about democratic principles, issue-based voting on the topics you are most passionate about, a global circle of thinkers who want to strengthen democratic function, a way to influence how freedom is protected and improved for everyone who lives in or travels through the free world. This is not politics, this is participation. What you can do inside IOD Nations. Share ideas with people from different states and countries. Vote on democratic issues that matter to you. See collective results from around the world. Help shape coordinated civic actions. Contribute to a culture of open, thoughtful, democratic engagement. Every contribution, every idea, every vote, every conversation becomes the one more illuminated bulb in the shared brain of democracy. Who this invitation is for? IOD Nations welcomes anyone who believes in free expression, fair systems, shared responsibility, and the idea that democracy belongs to everyone. If you care about how democratic societies belong to everyone, if you care about how democratic societies function and how they can function better, you belong in this circle. Why your participation matters. When thousands of people collaborate, vote on issues they care about, something powerful happens. The collective intelligence of democracy becomes visible. Your participation helps shape a stronger, smarter, more responsive democratic culture, not just for your community, but for everyone who lives in or travels through the free world. Join the circle. Step into a global network of minds lifting together. Add your ideas, add your vote, add your light. International Online Democratic Nations, where democracy thinks and acts together, by Joel Coleman and Greg Lanham. Wow. Greg, that is so freaking awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to work with you going forward. This is what we're about, folks. These guys got together. They worked on this. You can see Greg, the trajectory on Substack. This is what we're trying to do. Now, hey Draco, can you pull up the video of This Is Your Brain on Democracy with the music that we did? And
Excuse me quickly, Joel.
Yeah,
Excuse me
go ahead.
quickly.
Yeah.
Just one thing. It's also on Blue Sky.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh,
Okay, cool. So I want to take you back in that video that we played of Simon Sinek, and he commented on something. I believe it was him. And he commented about having fun. And Peter keyed in on this. So we're going to play 2 videos for you before we end today and we work on getting our email out. The first one is going to be, so I'm just, it's so cool listening to Chardonnay describe her vision and seeing Greg help bring that. Jill, yes, you can. We'll bring you in. Somebody's got to turn off their chance of showers with a high of 82 degrees and a low of 58 degrees. Can you mute, please? I don't know who. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
So, I did a commercial for IOD Nations, and I called "This Is Your Brain on Democracy," and then we did one on the Matrix. So before we do those, Jill, come on in, Jill. Sorry, Peter, I'm so sorry. I kind of have stepped all over your toes here.
No, hey. You know, you're like the coach. I'm the assistant coach. I know my place.
So I have a confession. Me and Peter didn't do our homework, so we deserved to stay after class, and we're very sorry about that. But we did have a communication, between us. And actually, something I wanted to say today, and Peter has already touched on it, and it's possibly those good old English roots still coming through, Peter. But it, to me, that vision is amazing, and we've got so many ideas, but they're huge, and there's steps in that, and a way we maybe need to align some of those steps before, like, having we've got, we all are so committed and to your vision, Joel, that absolutely. But I am also a little bit of I've worked in local government for over 30 years and run services for older people with learning disabilities, all sorts. And I'm quite a sort of systems person. I have the vision, but it's those steps that we need to take. And I think sometimes, so there is a lot of work on the Epstein files, but it was things like, to me, I watched Congressman Ro Khanna, who is doing a huge amount of work with the Epstein survivors. There is another congressman who's running, who's a guy called John Lucioni, and I contacted him directly about the petition that I'd done for the King and Queen to meet with the survivors when they came on the state visit, and they didn't. And Ro Khanna actually, instead of going to that, held a meeting with the survivors purposely, so that they were not forgotten. But I think those people are really worth us tapping into, and maybe could afford 20 minutes just to drop in and speak about some of that work and learn about us, because I think those types of people would absolutely start to tap in. And I think for me, it's having those huge concepts, but it's the steps. How do we get there? We can send 1,000 emails to Victoria's Secrets tomorrow, and it'll be water off a duck's back. But if we bring that back a little bit, we start collaborating with some other women's groups in different ways and different forms, even if they don't become a part of it, they are behind it. And we know that if we sort of, send things to them, they will also, sort of cascade, email, etc. So I had sort of, and that was the same with the petition bit, I thought, and I contacted so many of the, the online influencers and so on. And it sort of got lost. And the people that did get back to me are those smaller type people who are growing at the moment and want to grow further. And I think sometimes it's worth really using those people who want to amplify their voices to different groups, particularly, obviously, Democrats. And that's not to come and tell us what to do, but to tell us a bit about what they're doing and know about this so that they can share it also, because I think they would. John Lucioni actually came back to me with quite a long message about a book he's been writing and pulling together on Epstein, and was his father was an attorney general for social services, which is my background. And he was saying it's time to link up across the pond, and because he's running for Congress, he wants those audiences. So there's a buy-in for him. And I'm just thinking around, sometimes those people like that are the people also that we need. And as Peter was saying earlier, and as Greg actually said, and it's turning those visions into the steps that we need to take to reach those visions. And again, as Peter had said, this isn't a race, it's a marathon, really. And I think we will get more buy-in from some of those smaller groups or people who are trying to, build their profiles or their businesses and so on. I just before I shut up, but whilst I was working, it came to my attention that Amazon was selling T-shirts with guns on them that said "Get rid of Downs," which was a reference to Down syndrome, people with Down syndrome, and I was just absolutely horrified by it. Sent it around my work, which is, that was 5,000 employees, but my area was 500. And I think about 50 people sent that to Amazon, and within 2 hours they were taken down. We just mentioned Amazon in every which way we could. And Amazon didn't quite like that noise. So I think in some ways it's worth hitting those bigger, but it's with that message that Peter was talking about. What do we want? We want you to contact the Epstein. So, but it's that what bits can they give us, and what can we give them? We'll promote you as well, and these are the congressmen or the influencers behind us. I think it's really worth us thinking about those smaller steps, people, and building, bringing those together, along with us or alongside us, whichever works for them. But those were just some of my thoughts over the weekend when I was trying to, because I think we all agree that there's so much we know that needs challenging and saying enough. Misogyny, I think, is one of the key areas. It's just everywhere. Andrew Tate has one of the biggest audiences on Substack at the moment, and that's hugely frightening. You've got a rape academy online. It's just unbelievable. So I think in some ways, when you come back a little bit to people like Ray Canna, John Lucioni,
Okay.
these are people that start giving us that momentum as well. Thank you.
Okay, Jill, sorry, I'm gonna cut in there for a minute. So here's the point for everybody that is here. What Jill is talking about is opportunities. Okay? There are so many opportunities of who we can reach out to in different ways, how we can reach out to different people, and how to organize and manage that process. The challenge we've got is that in our meeting groups, the largest group we've had was the last one or recently where we had
that's so tactful.
we had can
Yeah.
somebody mute? Oh, sorry. Is we can pick and choose from those things and choose which ones to do. So Jill, when we're meeting in the work groups, which you're going to get an email about, and we're going to schedule those. When we do that, that's part of this. Is how many people do we have? What are you and Peter can hook up and talk about those things and come back with a proposal on how you're going to reach out. I think we can. I think it's a really good idea to reach out to some of those smaller people because they're motivated. They can look at someone who's small like us with 1,500 or 1,600 subscribers, and that's meaningful to them. They want to have the potential to access subscribers, and we want to do the same. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. Okay. The bottom line is we've got to get people who come into these meeting groups and put this together because there's only so much time in the day for us. So anybody who wants to come in, we're asking you to. We'll put your ideas up. We haven't even showed you the website and the portal where you can put those up and people can vote on them. We're trying to manage all of this. And Jamie, we do. We will have. So Jamie asked, do we have a way to measure the success of different projects? We will have when we get consistent and we start putting them up. So we're going to build that. And now that you've said that, I'm making a note here to make sure we have a way to measure success on these Simon Sinek emails that are going to go out. So I'm going to leave it at that. Chardonnay, did you put your hand down? Because I'm going to go to Greg unless you still wanted to talk. Your hand is down? Okay. Greg, go ahead.
I just had another point that we failed to go back to before. You're talking about sending an email to Simon Sinek and a couple other guys. I think you should explain to people who they are and why are you going to email them?
Well, I thought I did in the video, but the reason I'm doing it is because they are major influencers. These guys, I think Stephen Stephen Bartlett now has 7 million subscribers to his YouTube channel. Trevor Noah is a well-known international comedian and he speaks out on a lot of issues. And Simon Sinek is perhaps the most popular leadership and management and human relations speaker promoter in the world. And Simon Sinek is from Canada. Stephen is from England. And Trevor Noah is originally from South Africa. So this is not just reaching out to them for being influencers, but it's also reaching out to them because they are international, right? And so if we if we get them, we get their international presence, but we also get their presence and how all of this relates to their individual countries. So I've got reasons to reach out to Simon Sinek that have to do with his ADHD and mine, and the way that he and I, I'm not nearly at Simon Sinek's level, but we do process and think of things in some certain ways that are common for people with ADHD. So there's a myriad of reasons to reach out to them. Plus, I think they're more receptive. Simon Sinek is actually running a thing called, I believe it's his optimism something or other, and he's looking for books and new ideas. And so there's a ton of reasons to reach out to him, Greg.
It wasn't my question. I was doing it for the benefit of the audience. You didn't have to explain.
Okay, perfect. I get it. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. No, I get it, and that makes great sense. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that. Okay, so in the vein of having fun, Draco, which one do you have ready to go first? One's for Chardonnay with her idea of the big brain, and then the other one is for Peter for how we're going to have fun promoting freedom and democracy across the world. So let's see who. Okay, this is for you, Chardonnay.
What the fuck is it gonna take? The clock ticking, democracy slipping, snakes in the kitchen, freedom in a chokehold, yo, who's gripping? Socrates whispers truth bombs, no fiction. Big hands, Newsom, palms on the gavel, world unravel, systems fragile, typing revolution, scrolling battle, scrolling but silent, nah, we can't straddle. Make democracy offensive, what's the price? Power to the people, not the roll of dice. Unite online, ignite the fight. Blow this shit up, bring the wrong to light.
Algorithm scheming got your mind in a cell, scrolling through the circus while the earth yell. Policy for sale, dreams they compel, but the masses sleepwalking, trapped in the spell. What's it gonna take? A quake in the brain, floods in the veins, break out.
So that's based upon a couple of things. Draco said that he thinks my brain is swollen with ideas about democracy. And so he created that character. I told him I wanted to make fun of, if you're from the United States, you know very well the long time commercials that said, "This is your brain on drugs." And so I was trying to do, "This is your brain on democracy." And then, what's that? Anyway, and so that is just an example of how we can have fun together and promote ideas that are pro-democracy in a fun, irreverent, maybe sometimes offensive way. And so Draco, go ahead and let's pull up the matrix for Peter.
This is our construct. A planet of continents, of land and borders. At least, that's what previous generations believe. This is our real construct. The triad world is now subservient to our virtual world. Welcome to the real world, Neo. A brave new international online democratic world. Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Elon is about to go bye-bye.
So, we do not access the internet. We filter their access to us. We are the internet. Holy shit, we can save Zelensky and Ukraine.
When the world's youth and others unite online, Freedom, democracy, and the world's pro-democracy citizens will now rule the world. All that must occur is for people to send an email.
Those could all be nations.
Those emails comprise their online citizenship.
Could they save world democracy?
Once united online, by the millions, we are the cure.
So international online democracy is the new construct.
If they build it, I will come.
So you're here to save the world.
No one has ever done anything like this.
That's why it's going to work.
Thanks, Draco. Peter, I'm gonna let you take it.
That's I like the big brain there, Joel. That's a good one. Draco, you're very creative. And that's what we need. We have to paint the picture, to articulate your idea into somebody else's head. It's very hard unless you're there's very few people in the world that can paint the same picture. And that's why we have these visuals and music, and it's great, and it's fun. It's fun to do, and it works well. Before we go, it came up to me the other day that what really motivated me. I mean, I was motivated before, but what really struck me was, I don't know how many of you have watched the leaders when they came to Davos, Switzerland, and Mark Carney. And I'm not saying it because he's okay. He could have been anybody. He could have been any other leader in the world. And I was amazed about the truth he spoke, the honest truth of the situation the world is in right now, and how we're going to get out of it. And this is in line. I mean, this concept is right in line what the whole speech was about. And it really, I mean, I've told you before, it's a miracle I got to this place, because I had no idea where I was going. I'm navigating through hundreds of Substacks and portals that you could use, but nothing came close to what your concept is, Joel. Nothing. And that's why I'm so excited about what we're doing now and how we're going to be doing it. And like I said, I'll just repeat this again. If you haven't seen that speech yet, I would really recommend anybody here to listen to it. And with that, I'll go back to Greg. Greg, are you awake?
Yeah, it helps if I unmute. Yeah, I'm here. No, I just I wanted to thank everybody for coming today. I don't know if we're getting close to wrapping it up, but if any of you have Substacks or other vehicles that you can send out emails, I invite you to come to either IOD Nations or to the Trajectory, and you can you have my permission. I'm the editor of the Trajectory, and I'm sure Joel has no opposition to you, for example, taking the email that I sent to Joel and a number of other people, and you can access that article on my site, and I'm sure you'll be able to access it on IOD Nations, and you can forward it to all your subscribers. And it's, as Joel read it, it's an invitation to come join us. So Chardonnay and I provided the format, and now all you have to do is go to the article and hit share and send it to all the people who are your subscribers or anybody else that comes up on your share list. and you can pick and choose who you send it to. For example, I didn't send it to Robert F. Kennedy. But I did send it to like Jane Fonda and her climate pack, and I sent it to another number of influencers, and I sent it to all my subscribers, and I sent it to all the major influencers on Substack and Blue Sky. So if you do that, that'll be a good start. If you don't have anything better to do between now and the next meeting. And that's about it. And I hope you guys all have a great day after this meeting's over.
Chardonnay,
Yes, I just want to say that please do not send it out until Joel makes the corrections on the name, because Joel wanted to make some spelling corrections and things, and I want it to be perfect before everyone sends it out, please.
that's a good point.
What was
I
wrong
think
with the name? What was wrong with the name?
You didn't spell out nations on a lot of it. You just put IODN, and it should be
That was
IOD
just a
Nations.
contraction. I also have a link. I also have a link to IOD Nations on there, and I also have it spelled correctly. And I checked that like triple.
No, I know.
times.
No,
Greg,
Greg,
I'm not giving you a hard time. I just want when we put it out, we always want it to be the same.
I tried to
Because
walk
some-
on water last week, but I still sunk.
Yeah, I saw you on the way down. But anyway, Greg, we're not. It's not. It's critiquing it, and there are certain amendments that that reflect nothing on the seriousness or your message.
Well, I guess I'm not good enough for you then.
Not
what
at
you
all.
did was outstanding, and we love everything you did. We just want everything to be absolutely perfect, and it means
Then write your own
takes-
article.
Okay, Greg, I'm sorry you got
Greg,
offended by that, but
I
you know, we have to be
apologize.
pragmatic. We have to be pragmatic about things, and it's not to be.
I'm
It's not
sorry, but I'm
insulting.
out of here for today. Goodbye.
Take care, Greg.
Oh my heavens, that's
Oh, don't, that's the whole thing. That's why this channel here right now is more so as an instruction channel. That's what this, and we're going to create another group and put them on another streaming application for these kind of discussions.
sure, of course.
Chardonnay, you've been speaking to Greg. I'm sure you'll probably check he's okay and have a chat. And sometimes some of us will fall off, and that's about supporting each other to get back on. As Peter was saying, the concept, the content, everything is there. But as Joel is saying, that the logo, the IOD Nations, recognition is really, really huge. So, but I think that's part of democracy, isn't it? Is sometimes we will fall off a little bit because we don't all agree, and it's about helping each other get back on again
Exactly.
sometimes.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
just like if we decided to trademark it, it has to be the same.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It has to be
Yes.
the same.
Yes. We want it
And
to be
so when people
recognized
see it,
yeah,
exactly, it has to be
immediately
recognizable.
they know what it is. Absolutely.
Exactly. And if it's troublesome for him to have to write it out, that's what copy and paste is for.
Rakesh is already reaching out to him. I can see that now. So,
Exactly.
and that's about that checking in. So, you know, it.
Apologizes.
He's very, very excited, Greg, and wants to rule the world as quickly as we
He
can.
is.
It's
And
fabulous.
he's such a gem. He's such a
Yeah.
gem.
Yeah.
So we want to keep his feathers in place.
Gang, yes, we can get sensitive at times, and obviously got sensitive. But let's don't dwell on this, okay?
No, of course
When we
not. There's
start
so
dwelling on
much
things,
else.
the whole meeting is prolonged, and we get stuck on the last point. So
Exactly.
let's close out on a
Thank you,
positive,
Peter.
and
Perfect.
Greg is going to be okay. Greg will
Mhm.
be okay. I'm sure he's a tough guy.
Joyous energy over there, and we're fine. Love to everyone.
Right on. Joel, go ahead. Joel, you're muted.
Jamie wanted to say something.
I don't know that I did. I'm seeing a message saying, "Can you unmute and bring this on the table?" I just said, "Can we put ideas like a wiki?" One of
Yes.
those things where you just dump all your thoughts in there in the email thread. And also, can we get those other emails, please?
Yeah, I don't know how to access the main chat when we're in the group. I only get the group we're in this. I don't get the content from the main group.
Okay. Where it says under more.
Yeah.
So you click on more. I think, let's see. Yeah, you click on more, and then you, at the top it says chat. You see that?
No.
You click on the 3 dots over more.
Over more, yeah.
Do you have an Apple, Jill?
I'm on an iPhone.
Oh, okay. Let me look at what my iPhone says. Oh, my iPhone just has.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Don't worry. I mean, I'm Jill Baxter, so I'm quite easy to find, but I don't know other people's. That's
Okay, so
Jill. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to move this forward because we've got a lot of people here, and I want to get on to the email campaign. So Jill, when we get into the work group, we can help you with that so you can see both of the feeds. So remind us when we will be reaching out to you for the work group. Anyone who's here who would like to participate in our upcoming campaigns, we're going to drop the email address. You can send us an email to participate. We're going to set up a work group meeting. And we will move that forward this week. I think we have that. Then we had Grow Your Own Meal had come into the feed, and I wanted to give her an opportunity to step in and talk to us before we close out the show.
I am new. I'm not new to your channel. I follow you guys. But for some reason, I got to the video and I loved it. And I loved the quote from Schopenhauer, a great old buddy of mine from studying philosophy way back in college. So
he is something else, isn't he?
He is amazing. And I think he is highly underrated and very pertinent to what we're going through.
He is. And that's that thing when I say that, all truth passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed, then it's violently opposed, and then it's accepted as, what's the term? Self-evident, right?
Yes, and reality, which is my favorite planet, Saturn's demand. Ultimately, you have to be real.
This is where we are. The reality is that it is inevitable that large numbers of people who want to promote and support democracy are going to unite online. Okay, it's going to happen, right? What we're saying
it is already happening. Thank goodness, because if it wasn't, I would be checking out because it's so far out of whack right now that sometimes I pray for my death, which for me is just a transition. It's not like I'm permanently headed for the worst. In fact, it might be a great relief to be out of this intensity. However, I have to say, at the very next moment that I say that, I get more empowered to really be active in my own community. And I am, and of all places, Boulder, Colorado, which is not as progressive as you might believe. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you here. Thanks for following us. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yes.
And we're
And thank you for
gonna
letting
drop
me chat. Letting me chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're so happy to have you here. But you can see in the we just put it into, I believe, the Substack feed, and we're going to put it into the Zoom feed, our email address. And
Great.
anybody who wants to follow us or participate or help make this happen, shoot us an email. We got we put out sort of a help wanted over the weekend, and we got 5 or 6 people who gave us times and expressed that they wanted to come in and start working with us. So we're anticipating that our next work group will have, hopefully somewhere between 5 and 10 to 15 people is what we're crossing our fingers and hoping for. And we're going to move these campaigns forward. To anyone here who has left an email address with us, you're going to get an email from us. It will have a template email to go to Simon Sinek, Trevor Noah, and Stephen Bartlett. Okay, we're going to send those out. We're going to try and get them to get involved with discussing IOD Nations and international online democratic nations, or international online citizen-led democracy. And that's our show for today.
Thank
We're going to
you.
have I'm going to give you an ending message from Draco. He's going to share his agent of peace. So Draco, we also call him AOP, and hopefully I didn't drop that on him too quickly and he can pull it up relatively fast, and we will go from there. So Draco will let me know. That will come up. Here we go.
Hello, good people. Myself, Draco, and I'm an agent of peace. If you ever feel like the world is heading toward chaos and hope is fading, I want to offer you a spark of light. IOD Nations, an online democracy for all of us who seek freedom, democracy, and peace. It's a place where we can come together, unite, and make things better. So stay united, stay strong. It would mean a lot to me if you stand with us to make a peaceful world.
Way to go, Draco. Thanks, Rakesh.
I would
Peter,
put
I'm going to get
IOD'd an IOD nation.
good
I'm
for
looking at the
you.
logo.
Good for you. Okay,
Should be their
guys. Thanks
slogan.
everybody who's been here. We will be back again on Wednesday. I'm going to take a quick break, and then Rakesh, can you and I and Peter, well, who wants to get who? Chardonnay, Peter, and Jill, do you guys want to get together and have a brief discussion on when we can meet next? Are you cool with that?
Sure. Yep. I'm good.
Yeah.
Anybody
Joel,
else?
I have an idea. If you wanna meet now, let Draco stop streaming and left the Zoom open, and let's take a 10 minutes break, and then everyone come back here so that
That
we don't
sounds
have to.
perfect, Rikesh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
I'm
you.
going
I'm
to take a
good to me.
waiting.
break and I'll be back in.
Bye-bye.
I'll be back
Thank
in
you.
5 to 10. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being
Thanks
here.
for everything. Thanks for everything, everybody. I love y'all. See you in a little bit.
Love you too.
হ্যাঁ লাইভ ফিডটা কপি করো
Hey, Draco.
Hey Peter.
Draco, what are you saying? Just stop streaming. We are moving into a working group.
Yeah, before I stop streaming, can you please copy our live chat comments?
Oh, from Zoom?
No, from Substack.
I don't have that, man.
Okay. All right, no worries.
My feed were refreshed multiple times, so I lost track of it.
All right, no worries.